Look, I really don't believe in wasting the audience's time. Here is the completed tier list, and I will go through everything about it. But the point I want to make is that 5DB right now is as broken as it's ever been. It is absolutely absurd, and I'm just so sick of this. Every time the UK division's down here and 5DB's up here. So from this point on, I'm changing my name to FRA Hippie, and I will be making videos exclusively on 5DB because, as you recall, when I made a video on First Armored, they used to be able to get gun groups and MAGs in Warriors. And that was immediately fixed after I made that video. But wait, what's this? These people, the MMG still comes in a not warrior, a frog warrior. HMG comes in a warrior. Let's have a look at some other ones. M60s in Bradleys, other ones in Bradleys, etc., etc. But I'm just feeling very pained. I'm feeling very pained. But yeah, why is 5DB even worse than it's ever been? Basically, two things. One, these guys. So snipers were added recently. So one of 5DB's problems is that they had no airborne forward deployable. But hey, now they do. They get Dragon Paras, who are special forces, maximum veterancy, 6 availability, 65 points, shock, airborne, recon, ground surveillance radar, so they get exceptional optics when stood still. They get exceptional stealth, obviously. And this sniper rifle can, basically every time it shoots, it kills one unit. So if you're up against an enemy squad and it's 6 men, you kill them in 6 shots. The rate of fire is 15, so that's a shot every 4 seconds. And yeah, these guys are absolutely absurd, and yeah, they get the airborne forward deployable, and they come in this as well, which is a great vehicle. Also, another change that was made, all infantry AT weapons had their aiming time increased to 2 seconds. So this was part of a general approach to, well, no, I'm not being reasonable here. This is bad. Why is this bad? It's bad because the IFVs still have an autocannon still have an aim time of 1 second. So the autocannon rocks up, he gets a free volley on you, and then that usually starts a fire, which makes your unit move, so you can't shoot back anyway until you get out of the fire. And if he doesn't stun you already, he gets another volley off on you. So check this guy out. 130 points, 11 front armor, autocannon, tank gun, MMG. So the autocannon still got the aim time of 1 second. So this is now an omni tool. You just drive it into the forests and kill everything. So yes, I am absolutely molding. And from now on, all videos on this channel will be me playing 5DB until they get nerfed. Let's go back to the tier list and talk about some other things. So we've covered this. Let's talk about S tier. Why are these divisions in S tier? 3rd and 79th also get snipers, which is great, and they were strong before. They also get auto cannons, and there's been a tendency towards these heavy medium tanks. So the M1 Abrams and the T80BV are both very strong at max veterancy, and these two divisions can bring absolutely loads of them. 79th also gets the BMP-2, which it can drive into the forests and do the same thing we've been talking about. I believe that's got 4 front armor, might be 3. 3rd has the Bradley, which can do this, but it's not as good because of how expensive the Bradley is. But 3rd's other tools are great. LRS suffers from the same... let me get back into the game. LRS suffers benefits from the same traits as the French one, except this is 5 points more expensive for basically the same thing. Let's do a comparison. What are they called? Dragon Paras. So LRS now also airborne forward deployment. There you go. So the LRS does get the MG, so I guess that's why they're 5 points more. And LRS is really, really, really strong now as well. So that's why 3rd's still doing great. They still get the A10, which was nerfed a little bit, but not much. And M1A1 spam. 39th is like 79th, except a little bit worse because you don't get the MiG-31. You get more infantry. The BMP-3 sort of not the thing that you want to be driving to forest and doing this strategy with. So you could get more BMP2s. I prefer 79th. Some people would have these the other way around. Second Panzer, so this is interesting. Why have we not seen this in S tier before? You get the Marder, which really... What Marder 1A3, right? 5 front armor for 40 points. So this is the biggest beneficiary of the autocannon changes, apart from that French tank, because 1 second aim time, 5 front armor, you just drive this into a forest, and it benefits from the blob warfare. Second Panzer gets a lot of Leopard 1A1s, a lot of Marder 1A3s. They were quite strong before, a bit of an unsung division. The only guy playing them, to my knowledge, was Strom. But with these recent changes, they're now even stronger. Back to this, so A tier, what's different between these divisions and the S tier ones? These divisions are all good divisions, but they don't get autocannons, at least not in any significant mass. These two obviously get Recon Bradleys, and so they cannot benefit from the current dynamic of autocannons in forests. So 7th, very strong mediums. Unternehmen, it's good if you've got good micro, because the thing with Untermensch is that they can create this massive blob and then just Q move on you and then you die. The autocannon changes do alleviate that somewhat, so that these divisions will beat these divisions because the autocannons will just shred you. 82nd's always been strong, but people haven't been playing them so much, but they don't get autocannons. And now that all of these divisions get airborne forward deployment, I believe every division in the game now gets airborne forward deployment in the form of these sniper teams. There might be 1 or 2 that don't. 82nd's advantage has been reduced, and infantry doesn't really kill other infantry. 8th, I would have put 8th as S tier last patch, but they don't get the autocannons, and autocannons are busted now. Also, I believe their best infantry AT weapon is the AT4, which has 17 penetration. So that means that the AT4 cannot one-shot the Marder 1A3. B tier, so 35Y, the VDV division, they do get autocannons in the form of BMDs, but the BMDs, they're not amazing. I mean, I'm actually yet to try it in a forest. They might be good, but basically these guys still go off their helicopters and infantry like airborne divisions do, and helicopters aren't so great. You get gun runned by the French jet and kills you in one pass if the missile hits. And yeah, they've got no staying power, not enough of these heavy mediums. The T-64s are good, but they don't get enough of them compared to like 39th, and because everybody gets airborne forward deployment now in some form or another, to my knowledge, the utility of the airborne divisions has gone down. KDA is like Unternehmen, but worse. They don't get autocannons. They don't get the FS Jäger Metis and all that good stuff which Unternehmen gets. Unternehmen also gets the Burrito. 5th Panzer is just a bad 2nd Panzer, so there's an argument to be made that 5th Panzer could be an A tier, but they don't get good air. They don't really get good anti-air. They're focused on spamming these heavy tanks, but it's not about the heavy tanks right now. You need mediums to kill IFVs as fast as possible, because 2 mediums can shoot faster than 1 heavy. And if you think 2 Leopard 1A5s is 200 points, whereas 1 Leopard 2A3 is 270 points. So 5 Panzer is just a bad version of 2 Panzer right now. 4 Panzer's sort of like 7th, except without the T-72s. So 7th, you need the T-72s, whereas 4th, you don't get those. So 4th is basically a bad 7th right now. 1st UK Armoured Division has been weak since it came out. Britain really does suffer, as we just spoke about. The Warriors don't come with the machine guns anymore, except every other nation in the game still gets their machine guns with IFVs. The Chieftains are really quite expensive for what they are. It could be said that the changes to AT weapons make the Warriors better, and they certainly do, but I just don't see why anybody would play 1st UK Armoured when they could play 39th, or 2nd, or 5E, obviously. 11E, so this is the worst performing airborne division right now. They don't get any autocannons. These guys still get a few autocannons. 82nd and 35Y still get a couple autocannons. 11E doesn't get any. They get these gazelles. The gazelle helicopter spam is a good meme, but they rely heavily on infantry damage, and infantry doesn't really deal that much damage anymore. And they get good AT launches, but now you've got this problem where you have to wait 2 seconds, so the autocannon kills you. So it's very tough playing 11E right now. And once again, of course, the advantage of your forward deployment airborne is not as great because everybody gets that now in the form of these sniper teams. TKS is like a bad version of 11E. It gets fewer gazelles, fewer good planes, worse infantry, still not got any autocannons. It's got good sustain, so it can play for a long time. Gets 4 AMX-10s, but really TKS is very bad right now. Berlin, sort of like TKS, so they get a few tanks, so maybe Berlin should be higher than TKS. Maybe I should swap these around. But Berlin has even weaker, and its anti-air is even weaker as well. And of course, at the bottom here we have 2nd UK has been the worst division in the game since its inception. Lots of nerfs targeted at 1st UK, so nerfs to warriors, nerfs to foxes, and those have all, you know, even though 1st is a terrible division. And those have all fed into 2nd. So 2nd now has worse foxes and worse warriors, and it was already bad. So yeah, it's very sad. It's very sad time. I'm just going to keep playing 5DB until they fix it. I mean, keep in mind, I make one video and then these guys get nerfed and they're already on the bottom. So now I must play 5DB and do this to save WARNO. I'm angry, by the way.